Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Second Take podcast. This one is an NBA regular season focused one, halfway through the NBA regular season. We're about a couple weeks out from the All-Star break, so catching up on some big trades, some big coaching movements, some standings updates. I'm Eddie. I'm joined today by Mark Rappaport, Mark Achkar, and Niall Hutchinson. Might have another guy hopping in halfway through the podcast. We'll see. But some of the really big topics that have happened in probably the past week or so. Doc Rivers to the Bucks firing their head coach. I'm a Bucks fan, so got a lot going on with my team. I'm not super happy about all that stuff going on, but I know a bunch of the other guys here are Knicks fans. The Knicks been on a hot streak recently. They just traded for OG Anunoby. They're looking nearly unstoppable. Like, I can't believe I'm saying that about the Knicks, but the Knicks look really good. Luka Doncic coming off a 73-point game rather on Friday. I got to witness that. Also, Devin Booker 62 points, Joel Embiid 70 points, Karl Anthony Towns 62 points. It seems like everybody's dropping 60 plus nowadays. The league is just on fire. But I guess the first thing I want to talk about is the Bucks head coaching change, because that's like a real surprising thing to a lot of people, but not for me as a Bucks fan. I'll hear your guys' takes first, and I'll explain why that's not surprising to me. Rappaport, you want to start off?
Yeah, sure. I was kind of stunned. I follow the NBA pretty closely, and I didn't expect that. Of course, originally, knowing the NBA, I thought, it must have been because Giannis wasn't happy with the coach, but apparently that wasn't the case. So I'm kind of stunned. And the Bucks are 32-14. That's a 696 winning percentage. They're the second in the East behind Boston, and they're really good. So I couldn't believe that. I thought that was a little surprising, but maybe there's more to it that I don't know.
Yeah, like I was also surprised in the sense that I more so with who they chose to hire with Doc Rivers, because he's a coach that has led teams to the playoffs, but as far as like helping them to get over the hump, like he was only able to do that with the 2008 Celtics. And so, he does have an all-time great power forward once again, which, he may be able to use in sets. It's a different type of play style and stuff. I do think that the coaching change was needed, not because I've like really been able to watch a lot of Bucks games, but the ones that I've seen, just like the defensive rotations, it seems like they've been able to do well because of their talent. But as far as actually like playing as a team and having like really consistent like defensive sets, I haven't seen that as much. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, just to add on to that, I feel like defense is obviously very key in the playoffs, and the Bucks defense this year has been mediocre at best. I believe they were like bottom 10 for most of the year, even though their record shows they're really good. I mean, the Doc Rivers hire is very, like, for me, it was also surprising because he's had a history of like blowing leads and kind of like keeping the locker room together has been an issue. I know that was a thing with like the Clippers and the other teams has been with. So we'll see how it goes later on if the Bucks can prevail. So.
Yeah, so really quickly, I just want to welcome Diego to the call. Diego had to hop on a little bit late. Diego, we're just talking about the Bucks coaching change right now. The Bucks releasing Adrian Griffin and hiring Doc Rivers. I'm gonna explain why that's not surprising to me as a Bucks fan. At least releasing Adrian Griffin, like he was really bad. Like he was a nice guy, I guess, but like, oh my God, this man did not know how to coach. He was weighing in over his head. The record doesn't say anything because you literally have Giannis and Dame on the same team, and like, just think of when the Cavs fired David Blatt back in like 2016, when they were the number one seed in the East at the time. Like, they were still underperforming even though they were in the number one seed. You had LeBron, and they just didn't look good. That's the same with the Bucks. Like, their defense obviously looked horrible, but like their offense just looked out of sorts. Like, it was just like Dame has been playing terrible. Like, Giannis has been just carrying them basically to this record. Griffin just really was not cut out for this at all. Like, it's funny to say because we had initially fired Budenholzer back like after the playoffs, which Budenholzer really needed to be fired. But this is before we knew that we were getting Dame Lillard. And if we got Dame Lillard and kept Budenholzer as a coach, I think Dame would have been incredible in Budenholzer's system, because Budenholzer was a bad defensive coach, but was really good at masking bad defensive players because he'd run a lot of drop coverage and basically just protect the paint and protect the rim with Giannis and Brook just getting a ton of blocks. But he would also just leave 3-point shooters wide open, which Dame is already letting up a lot of scoring anyway. So he would have functioned really well. Plus, Budenholzer's a really good offensive coach. The thing is, I think we really needed to fire Adrian Griffin, but I cannot believe we hired freaking Doc Rivers. I don't know what we are doing. I'm beyond just stunned at that move. Like, so stupid. Like, dude hasn't done anything since 2008. Like, he's blown more leads than you can count on both hands. I'm just stunned. Like, I don't know what to say. I would have rather kept our interim coach. Like, I like our interim guy. He's a dog, Joe Prunty. But no, Doc Rivers, I didn't think we were gonna win the championship anyway this year. I think it's the Celtics to lose. But like after we lose in the playoffs now, everyone's gonna just clown on us because we have Doc Rivers and we say like Doc Show, whatever. Like
what I think is crazy is that they like fired him after being like second in the league. Like that's crazy. They weren't even doing bad and they fired him. So that's crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean he was still underperforming though. He needed to get fired. Plus apparently he had some like personal stuff going on too. Like he was just not a good guy or something. I don't know. Like the players really didn't like him. Because like literally the day after he got fired, they were all. Did you guys see that clip of them like dancing? Like
led by Thanasis Antetokounmpo, the goat of the NBA.
That's crazy.
Yeah, literally the entire team was like doing like a shuffle pregame, doing like a dance line, and everyone in the comments on like on social media was like imagine getting fired and seeing all your coworkers doing
It's a little bit too happy that like he's gone. Nah, but the head coach that like actually needs to get fired is Darvin Ham. Like what?
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Like what is he doing? Hey, but I'm a Lakers fan. We need to talk about last night's game. That was
I didn't get a chance to see it, but I saw the highlights.
The double OT game was crazy.
That was performance, yeah. That was insane.
Yeah, dude, Steph Curry actually hit like a clutch shot for once too, which I feel like he's never like hitting clutch
People need to
shots.
talk about that. Steph Curry's not clutch.
No, he's not at all. Dame Lillard. Okay, Steph is obviously like 100 times the player that Dame is, but Dame is forever more clutch than Steph. Like, I don't think there's an argument there.
So would you rather like Steph as he is, like all-time great for the first 3 quarters, and then like just trust Iguodala for the fourth, or would you rather Dame as he is?
Nah, dude. Steph isn't even like anti-clutch. He's just like not willing to take the clutch shot because he always has guys around him that can. But like I would take Steph like 46 minutes of the game up until like the final 2 minutes, and then Damian Lillard any day, final 2 minutes. Like Dame like just is like Dame will play terrible the entire game, and then we'll just like hit like some of the clutchest shots you'll ever see.
And then like
no
wasn't
sense.
even the last 3 to the Warriors up by like 1? Wasn't that Clay? That was Clay. So, like,
Yeah, it was
I don't think that. Yeah, you might be right.
So it wasn't even Curry. So
Well,
I
just-
know
Wait, sorry, what were you saying?
that like I know this is the NBA podcast, but I'm seeing the Niners flag in Mark's background. What's going on with that?
His roommate's flag.
Yeah, my roommate is from the Bay Area. He's a diehard Giants and 49ers fan. I'm not really. I mean, I like them, but no, not me. Don't worry.
We're repping the Ravens.
I mean, guys, sticking on the topic of the Warriors, do you think it's like over for their core Draymond, Clay, Steph? I mean, right now I believe they're like 12th in the West. Like even the Jazz have leapfrogged them at this point, and I don't know about them like right now. It seems like kind of like that, that Lightning McQueen reference, like McQueen is fading. That's kind of what it feels like right now with the Warriors. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like after Clay got his like injury, that like really took a toll on like the whole team, and they're just like it's just really not the same. Like I remember, like because I'm like a LeBron fan before anything, so like I remember when Cleveland would like play them, I'd be so scared every single game. Like like we are about to see 2 people not miss for the whole game, but now it's like they're like a liability, especially on like defense. They don't have a center. They like play Draymond at the center. Like, what is that? So it's just not like a complete team anymore, I would say.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know the Warriors won a chip in 2021, but like the last time I can say I was scared of them as a team was after 2019, like when they lost to the Raptors, because they obviously should have won that series if they didn't have the injuries. But they only won that chip in 2021 because of like just weird matchups. Like they had a really easy slate throughout the Western Conference. Like I think they played like Jokic and that was it. Like literally the rest of his starting five was out.
Yeah,
And they played like they just like
The
had a
Mavs.
really easy route to that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mavs
they
in the
played like
final.
Luka Doncic with nobody else.
yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
Suns, who were like by far the best team in the league that year, obviously choked. Like, which is no fault to the Warriors. They won a chip, but like they
Yeah.
weren't like a scary team that you knew the rest of the dynasty. And then like the year after, and then this year, obviously they were just, they've fallen off. And I don't even think they should blow it up though. I think they just got to run it out, let Steph, Clay, and Draymond retire. I don't think they should try and trade these guys and like still try and win around Steph because it's just not happening. It's just gonna make them look bad if they just get rid of their guys that have been there forever. Like you can't, no matter how bad Klay Thompson and Draymond are now, you can't trade them. No, like you're not gonna get anything good back in return because they're on crazy deals. And then you're just gonna piss off like your greatest players in the history of your franchise. Like you don't want to do that. Just keep that relationship going, and then embrace like 3 years of sucking now.
I agree.
Yeah,
Because
I think
Yeah,
the
'cause also-
issue with the war. Oh, sorry.
no, you go.
Yeah, I'll go quick. The issue with the Warriors, I think, was just like they're kind of like they were trying to like do this thing with like they had the young players at the same time as the old players, and I feel like they should just pick the side. Either trade the young players ASAP to get role players that they can win right now the past few years, or pick the young side, like trade all the veterans and just build around. You had like Moses Moody, you had Jordan Poole who got traded recently to the Wizards. You had Kuminga and all those other players. So it was kind of like it didn't really mesh very well for them.
Right.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is Steve Kerr's fault. Like he's really damaged that relationship with Kuminga and Moody. Obviously, they already traded Wiseman and Poole, but like Poole was getting minutes. None of these other guys were getting minutes, and like Kuminga is like obviously a starting caliber player in the league, but he has like superstar potential. And the guy's like 21. Like I don't know why they're not playing him. Like I'm sure Draymond would honestly not care if he comes off the bench. What do you think, Niall?
Yeah, I would agree. I think they didn't necessarily invest wisely as far as like the young talent that they had and stuff. Like I understand like Wiseman had injuries, but you spent a first round pick on him, a number one overall pick on him. And so like being able to turn him into something a little bit more valuable would have been great. I think, they really fought hard to keep Gary Payton Jr., which he does add a lot of value, but it's, as you were saying, it's strange that Steve Kerr can see the value of like a Gary Payton Jr., but not Kuminga, who's athletic, able to attack with both hands, great defender potential and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, and Payton's always injured. Plus, he's not even young. He's like 30 or like 29 or something.
Right. And then also, I feel like their play style, especially with like running Draymond at the 5, is outdated in this modern NBA. We're at a point now where we have like legit like 6-7 footers. You have Chet and Wemby, who are these huge guys who can shoot and stretch the floor, and we have other players like Jokic who can really play make out of the post. And so running a smaller lineup to get that playmaking bonus isn't really as valuable now. And the league's also caught up to their shooting prowess too.
That's facts. I was gonna say that like not even needing like a stretch big. Like Draymond is just so short from other like centers. Like you don't even need to be athletic. Like I'm pretty sure, what's his name? Let me think of a random center.
Clint Capella.
Oh, I'm blanking. Wait. Okay, but like point is that he can be stopped at the center position. I think he's a very strong 4. But if like the Warriors locked in with him like a 5, they like wouldn't be a 12 seed. That's what I'll say. But didn't you see that Steve Kerr told Clay, like made him realize that he had negative energy? That is something that I would never say in public, like ever. Like that's how you know team morale is like at an all-time low with them. I could hate on
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and like
that's closed door.
Somebody mentioned Chet and Wemby earlier. I was watching the Chet versus Wemby game the other day. Like they were like it was a blowout. The Thunder were up by like 30, but like in the fourth quarter for like the first 6 minutes, it was just Chet and Wemby going after each other. And like Wemby just came and like dunked on Chet, like absolutely bullied him, and like Chet would come back and hit like a crazy fadeaway. And they're literally just going back and forth, like trading duels. Like it was literally a one-on-one out there. It was nuts. And then I saw, did anyone see, I think it was either last night or the day before, like Wemby had a crazy like sham god move on Gobert. I think it was last night.
That was
I think that was yesterday.
That was insane. Like this dude is, I'm not even joking. Like if he They're watching the NFL championship game. Apparently something big just happened. But dude, if Wemby stays healthy, he is like legit going to be the GOAT. Like I don't think there's any argument against it at this point.
But,
Like the
like,
dude is crazy.
think about that. Like, it's like I feel like you have to do something to be in like conversation. You know, like the Spurs have.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is
please.
like completely speculative, but like he's having like a better rookie season than LeBron, and they're like the same age as rookies. It's crazy. No, like actually, like look at it is a faster paced era, and they're completely different players. But like Wemby's rookie, like Wemby could legit be an all-star in his rookie season, which LeBron should have been too.
The thing with Wemby is that, right, even like he's not even getting like as many minutes right now. I believe he averages under 30 minutes a game, and I think this was from Popovich and trying to be like cautious his rookie year. And once he fully blossoms, he's gonna be like, he's already a specimen. He's gonna become like he's already an alien. Like I don't know what he's gonna become. Only thing with him is I believe he needs to his shot selection needs to be a little better. I know that's like with the Spurs around him, and there's big speculation of what's going to happen with the Spurs like later on, like who's going to be their core right now, like who on the Spurs squad right now is going to be with Wemby the next 10 years. So I think it just comes down to that and how good Wemby could be.
No, I agree. Like I think the shot selection, I think you're right. Like he definitely does need to stop taking so many threes, but that Spurs team is horrendous. Like so bad. People are trying to discredit him for like not winning or whatever, but like this is like it's as bad as like the rookie LeBron team, that Cavs team. Also, I think like the players around him like dislike him the same way that like the Cavs in 03-04 were just like jealous of LeBron. Because like, have you guys seen how like Jeremy Sohan like won't pass him the ball and is like constantly like just like going in and trying to do his own thing? It's like, bro, nobody's trying to watch Jeremy Sohan. People are out here trying to watch Wemby. Nobody cares about you, bro.
Yeah,
That's maybe why, though.
it's a shame because like Wemby like is able to attract so much gravity where he can really be a great facilitator for other players to shine and stuff. I remember one player was reminiscing to LeBron's rookie year and how there was like one play where LeBron went up through like a thunderous dunk and everyone went crazy, and then like LeBron stole the ball again and he was running down the court, but instead of doing like another type of dunk, he actually like alley-ooped it to his teammate behind him so that they could get the highlight as well and stuff. So like, and the player said like a lot of the locker room after that moment were like, oh, okay, this guy, he's serious about playing and getting everyone involved. And so, you know, hopefully as Wemby like it grows as a playmaker and is able to use his scoring to open up opportunities for other players, that'll start to bring people into the fold.
Yeah, Wemby actually like seems like a pretty good playmaker. I don't know if you guys have like seen a lot of his games, but like for being 7'6" and an alien, like dude's a good passer, like way better of a passer than he should be.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. The next thing I wanted to talk about real quick, just transitioning, was the New York Knicks obviously just traded for OG Anunoby, sent RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly, which I know Knicks fans are sad to see those guys go, but getting OG is insane. That is a Tom Thibodeau perfect like match right there, match made in heaven. I know Thibodeau's going to run him to the ground and play him 48 minutes a game, but God, the Knicks look good. Like I know the Knicks have been like good for a while, but like they weren't like ever like scary. Like nobody was really seeing the Knicks and going like they're going to make it out of the East or they got a chance to get to the ECF. But like this year, if there's a year the Knicks are going to make it, it's this year. And like I think the only thing that can possibly hold them back is Julius Randle just going like 3 for 28 in the playoffs. But other than that, they are disgustingly good right now, and they're playing really well as a team. Josh Hart, Brunson obviously have great chemistry, and they're still missing some guys too. Like Mitchell Robinson's been out for most of the season. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it back before the playoffs. I don't think he is. It might have been season ending, but they just have a lot of depth right now. They have a lot of talent, a lot of length too. Like they're a big team.
Didn't the Knicks just like blow out the Nuggets the other night by like what? Like
Yeah, they did.
I like
It was like near 40. Yeah.
I think it was like 30, 38 or something, and they did the same to the Heat, to Miami yesterday.
Yeah.
Which is
yesterday. Yeah, they've been cooking. Quiet team. I like them. What do we think about the Celtics though?
No.
Oof.
I mean, I think
I'll
back to the Knicks. I think the Knicks are. I don't know. It's really interesting. I think the Knicks are they've been on a 6-game winning streak. They've been really hot all year. I mean, as a New Yorker, as a Knicks fan, I'm really excited to see how they've done. I think they're really good. I still don't believe, and I think this is going to get some hate, that I have a hard time seeing them, I guess, beating either the Bucks or the Celtics, or really, the powerhouses in the East when it comes into playoffs. I just don't see it. I feel like the Knicks are missing like one big player. I love Brunson. I love him. Randall is just, he's so inconsistent, and I don't know, but they're really good. I just think that I don't know if they have what it takes in the playoffs, but they've won 6 in a row, so I guess time will tell.
Yeah, I think we could take like the Celtics or the Bucks to 6 games and stuff now, like the Knicks.
I agree.
As far as like being able to push it over the top to win, it would require like a Jalen Brunson like playing like all 48 minutes and stuff like that to really get the job done. And I think he's definitely a player. He's proven at this point where if you need him to drop like huge amount of points and impactful points, especially, like he'll produce those. But we're gonna have to see if there's a way for other players to step up. And it'd be nice if like we had like another big piece. But hopefully with the way our defense is right now, we do match up well with most of the East. And I'm glad that Hartenstein is starting. Ever since last year, I was like, this dude needs to get in there. He's willing to take the charges. He'll go after the boards, whatever it takes, so.
Hustle player, bro.
He's really good. He's really good.
Yeah, I like him. The one big concern I'd say I have with the Knicks is it's kind of like what you see is what you get, because obviously Tom Thibodeau plays his players like 48 minutes a game during the regular season, which is insane. But as a result, that leads to them playing at like their max potential, because once you get to the playoffs, the rotations like slim down a lot. You get pretty much every team playing their guys like near as many minutes as possible, and only running 7 or 8 man rotations. The Knicks already basically do that in the regular season. So then you see a lot of teams make like a jump from what they look like in the regular season to the playoffs, whereas the Knicks are already kind of doing that all the time. Like the Knicks right now are the Knicks that you're going to get in the playoffs, basically. Unless like Jalen Brunson goes nuclear and drops 60 points, which is very possible because that dude's a fucking flamethrower. But yeah, that's the one big concern I have for the Knicks. I definitely think that I don't think they'll beat the Knicks, not the Knicks, the Bucks or the Celtics in the playoffs. I think they could absolutely beat the Heat now. Like last year, I didn't think they had a chance against like Philly or the Heat or any of those teams like that. I didn't even think they had a chance against the Cavs, and then I realized that it was a really good matchup for the Knicks, which is why they won in 5. This year, I think the Knicks can beat anyone in the East except the Bucks or Celtics. But the NBA is such an injury-dependent league anyway, so anything can happen. We could have a New York Knicks finals run. Orange and blue skies 2024. I wouldn't mind it. Not a Knicks fan, but I wouldn't mind seeing New York win something.
Yeah.
I agree. I just again, I think they have a chance. I think they look really, really good this year on a 16 winning streak. Just they don't have. I mean, I love Brunson. They just don't have the Joel Embiid, the Tatum. They don't have the Jokic. They don't have that player who I think can really carry them. But again, they are built very well and they're pretty deep, so they could shock people, and we'll see.
Yeah, Becky Hammond said something about that, like that really made all the Knicks fans super angry. She was like, the Knicks don't have like a superstar or something like that, or like a guy who's like, I forgot exactly what she said, but it was like 100% accurate, because like for as great as Brunson is, he's not obviously on the same tier as like Giannis or Embiid or Jokic. He's not a top 5 player in the NBA, which is, it's such a superstar driven league, superstar and injury driven league, coincidentally enough. So yeah, like that's the one thing for the Knicks, but we'll see. They're a really well-rounded team otherwise. The next thing I'd wanted to get into was Luka Doncic 73, or I mean, everybody dropping 60 plus. Luka Doncic 73, Joel Embiid 70. It's crazy that Embiid dropped 70 and now nobody cares anymore because Doncic just dropped 73. And that game was insane because I was watching Luka play. He had like 70 at like 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and then the Hawks were like triple teaming him. Like he could have legit gone for 90 if he wanted to, but his teammates just started like jacking up shots like anytime they wanted. Like I was seeing stuff on Twitter. It was like the Mavs, like Luka's teammates, as soon as they see he had 70 points, and it was just like dudes like dribbling and like chucking the balls out of bounds, having no idea what they were doing. But no, that was one of the that might have been the greatest game I've ever seen individually. He almost had a 73-point triple double. He had like 73 points, like 12 boards, like 8 assists, like, and he would have had 10 assists too if his teammates knew how to shoot. Like that was crazy. What do you guys think about all these like offensive explosions we've been having around the league lately?
Oh wait, you can go. You can go.
Yeah, I would just say that it shows kind of the pace and like the way the NBA is today. I mean, you have teams dropping like 140 in regulation. The Pacers for a little while averaged like around 126 points per game, and it shows like from now and even I think it also shows how impressive Kobe's 81 was because back then teams were like actually dropping 81 points the whole game. So I mean, I'm sure this will like simmer down in the playoffs a little bit, but it shows the state of the NBA is today. The 3-point shot is everything now. It's a make or miss league. So I just think it shows a transition in the NBA nowadays. And I'm pretty sure that one day, like someone could probably reach 100. I mean, it's not too far fetched as we saw from Luka.
Yeah, I think the pace of play is also just so far up there now too. That contributes so much to the higher scoring as well.
Yeah, so I think this is like it is a superstar league, but like it's not just that. Like you know what I mean? Like Devin Booker scored like 62, but they lost. You know what I mean? So while it does take one of them, like you also need like a very good like supporting cast. Like the best example of this is probably Denver. You know, Jokic, A+ player, but like you know, no this Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, like that seems like a random mix of like players. KCP, but you know they all kind of bring it together and like help Jokic do like his thing. So it's very very like fast now because like everyone is just so good. You need that extra very good player to like push you up to like the next level.
Yeah, you're right. Because everyone was criticizing Jokic for the longest time, saying he didn't deserve the MVPs because he was getting like swept in the playoffs because he literally had like guys who are out of the league now in his starting lineup like a couple years ago. As soon as he had serviceable role players around him, like Jamal Murray's great, but he's not a superstar. Aaron Gordon, good role player, but like he doesn't even have like a second like superstar around him, and then he just dominated the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Like that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Nah, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, like I know we were talking about like the explosion, but just to stay on Jokic because he's probably my favorite player to watch right now. Like he even makes like Reggie Jackson like ball out, like look good, like and stuff like like where the dribble handoffs that he's able to do, like the play style that Jokic has, where he's so flexible, and he's constantly making the defense guess. Like they're worried about his shot, they're worried about the post. Like if he gets in the post, there's few players in this league that really can stop him and stuff, not just because of his size, but the way how he utilizes that. Like I know we like oftentimes compare people to Dirk, but just being able to lean back and create space off one foot, and just have such a soft touch. Like he's the complete package and makes role players like actually get the chance to shine. And the coach is great too. Like he knows what his players can do really well.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah. I mean, I agree with everyone said, but I will say, as somebody said earlier, it's kind of crazy that, Booker scored 62, Talon scored 62, and Giannis 54. That was earlier in the season, and they lost. The Timberwolves are a really good team. You would think when, Karl Anthony Towns scored 62 points that they'd win. They lost. Suns are good too. It was just kind of interesting, and kind of shocking, but no, the scoring in the NBA this right now it's crazy, and I think we'll be disappointed as we go forward. I think we're not going to see the same run, but it was definitely great for sure.
Yeah. What do you think
Oh,
is
absolutely.
like with how fast the pace is, and like as you were mentioning, like these huge performances that led to losses, like what do you think is like the value of like NBA points now as opposed to like the past and stuff? Like where you're seeing guys drop like 60 points now as opposed to like 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
I think it's probably went down a little bit. That's a really good point that I actually didn't think about. It probably has. Decreased definitely. You're seeing 4 players do it in the span of about a week. It's roughly. It's still very exciting, and it's still. 73 points. Is still. It's still something to. It's crazy, but it definitely has decreased. I would have to say, but it's still very, very, very exciting and still a great feat.
No, I agree because I mean you got players drop like anybody can drop 50 nowadays. Like I think PJ Washington had a 46-point game last night. PJ Washington, like come on.
Yeah, actually.
Like
PJ.
yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's been like a bunch of like Sadiq Bey has a 50-point game. Like, come on.
Corey Brewer back in the day, Terrence Ross, you got all these
Yeah, well,
random.
those were actually in lower pace, so those are actually
That's
like
true.
significant 50-point games. I feel like they're random, but like I feel like nowadays, like any scrub like off the bench has the potential to just go nuclear on any given night. Which I mean, I guess it's what makes the modern NBA awesome. But at the same time, it kind of does devalue how great some of these superstars' feats are. I guess the one thing I wanted to ask based around this for you guys is if there's going to be a player who drops 100 points within the next 5 years, who do you guys think it'll be? Personally, I really don't like Joel Embiid, but I think that he would be the one to drop 100 points. He's just like the kind of guy who seems like he cares about stats enough to actually do that. And he like flops, gets a lot of free throws. Plus, he can just go crazy on any given night. Like him getting 70 was not surprising to me at all. Like I think he could do that plus more against like a really bad team. Like especially like the Wizards or the Pistons or something. I could easily see him stat padding and going for 100. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Well, Embiid can manage to get about 45 free throws. He can get there.
No, seriously.
I actually disagree. I would say that it would need to be someone who hits like 15 or 16 threes because, as I mentioned before, threes are more valuable than twos, and you can rack up those threes really quickly. Like that's what happened with Cat with his 44-point half. He had like 8 threes at half, and those just add up eventually. So if I were to say someone, it would have been Dame, but now he's on the Bucks, so I don't really think it's going to happen. Probably it would have to be Luka, but he would have to shoot like maybe 25 threes. So
Right.
I don't know, and get like maybe 30 free throws, and the game would probably have to go to like double overtime. It would. I don't think it could be done in regulation.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know if Luka is selfish enough to do that because I was that 73-point game he had. He shot like 26 of 33 from the field. He had 73 on 33 shots. And
he didn't even miss much. Yeah. I saw.
He only had 10
very
free
efficient.
throws. Yeah, it's insane. Like, dude was like finding his teammates. He wasn't just chucking up shots trying to set a record. Like, he could have easily gone for 90 plus, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, he could have easily, like, he might have even been able to get to 100 if he like forced it to go to OT. Like, he could have gone for the record if he wanted to, but he decided to go for the win instead because it became a close game. I just don't know if he's like a selfish enough player to really go for that. Yeah, I think you have to have a guy who's like, I don't want to use the word selfish because I mean, like, Kobe scored that much because he was always like the dude, you know, like he was always willing to shoot. He was always willing to just go in there and score. Embiid's kind of the same way, but I feel like Embiid's like a little bit more selfish about it. Like he really just cares about his stats over winning. But yeah, Niall, what do you think? You have a player?
Yeah, I would say like I was gonna say Luka, but I guess another one who maybe though he's evolved as a playmaker would be Devin Booker and stuff, where like he's shown where he's willing to like if his team is down to just shoot and shoot and shoot. He's not afraid to. He's got that like scorers kind of mentality, and he likes to say that he's similar to Kobe. And while I see some of that in his shot selection, I don't really see that fully, to be honest. But yeah, I'd say probably Devin Booker. And also I just want to you mentioned about how like Wemby could be like the GOAT like in the end. I think like Luka also is in that same category as well as far as like if he has like a solid team around him, he's somebody who could win championship after championship. Like he's got like top 3, if not the best IQ in the game and stuff. Like he attacks perfectly. He knows how to use his body well. Those like again, like he was almost able to get like a 70-point triple double. Like to be able to score at that velocity efficiently, rebounds, like putting his body on the line. Like I think if he had more help, he would, like which is what everybody says, but you know, like he's the person where he would be doing just what Jokic is doing now.
Here's what I'll say about Luka. I mean, I wouldn't call I think I criticize Luka a little bit because I feel like he doesn't give full effort defensively, and in order to be considered in the GOAT conversation, you would have to win championships. And what wins championships, as they say? Defense. So, I mean, recently, like the Mavs played the Celtics, and I saw like a video like 2 minutes in the game. He's like jogging back on defense. He's just standing there giving up open layups. And I feel like his mentality has to change a little bit when it comes to playoff time. He doesn't have to be an exceptional defender, but he just has to give the effort in order for the Mavs to be better. Because basketball is both sides of the floor. You can drop 50 points, but you can let up 51. So, I mean, I would say that he needs to improve on that.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fine.
Absolutely, absolutely. I guess the last thing I wanted to talk about here before we're gonna end it a little bit early, just so we can all go watch the Chiefs Ravens game. I know everyone's getting excited about that. Travis Kelce, I think, just had 2 touchdowns. So, but the last thing before going to NFL, last thing we wanted to touch on for NBA was I wanted to hear some All-Star predictions from you guys. I forgot. Do you guys know off the top of your head how many bench players there are for the All-Star, or how many All-Star reserves are there? Because there's 5 starters, obviously, and there's 7 reserves in each conference. I want you guys to, off the top of your head, no cheating, to list 7 players that you think deserve the All-Star reserves. Because like the starters, we already have the starters released. We don't know the reserves yet. I guess I'll start off for the East. I'll go. Was Jason Tatum? Was he? I don't know if he was a starter.
Tatum was a starter. Yeah.
He was a starter. Okay. For the East, I got to go Brunson, Trae Young, Halliburton. Or no,
Wait,
Halliburton was a
you mean
starter.
the starters or the reserves?
The reserves, because we already know the starters. So
I was like,
I'm gonna
Jalen
go
Brunson.
Brunson. No, easily Brunson. Brunson should have been a starter, honestly. Over Dame.
I agree.
Dame. I'm saying that as a
Brunson
Bucks
should have
fan.
been
Dude.
over Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have started over Dame. I'm saying that as a Bucks fan.
Wait, but isn't Tyrese at the 1?
Tyrese is a starter, I think.
Yeah, but
so I
isn't
guess,
he playing point?
what's up?
Isn't he playing the point?
Yeah, he's playing point, and then Dame's like the 2.
Kind of combo guard.
Yeah, so my seven in the East are Brunson, Trae Young, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, Bam Adebayo, I guess. I don't think Jimmy's played enough to be an All-Star. Bam. People are saying Derek White. I don't think Derek White should be an All-Star.
As a Celtics fan, I would not put him as an All-Star. I think he's an elite role player, but I think All-Star is a little far-fetched.
Yeah, I think the Celtics should only have 2 All-Stars, honestly.
How about Donovan Mitchell?
Oh,
Yeah,
D-Mitch. Yeah, I was forgetting about D-Mitch. 6, and my
Yeah.
7th would be who else is in the East? Brooklyn.
Does it have to be a big man, or could it be anyone for reserves, or like do they do it by position?
I think they do it by position, so I'll throw in Pascal Siakam because
Okay.
I think he's having an All-Star caliber season. And then for the West, it's got to be Curry. Was KD a starter? I don't think KD was.
Yeah.
A starter.
Yeah, KD was a starter.
He was a starter.
AD wasn't a starter, so it'd be Davis,
Oh yeah, Davis, Curry,
Fox.
Fox, Sabonis, Towns, Edwards.
Booker was not a starter.
No.
Booker
Yeah,
wasn't a
Booker,
starter.
He
Oh, that's
wasn't,
Ebert
no.
then.
That's
Ebert-
James
okay,
Durant,
that's my
yeah.
seven right
OKC
there.
Thunder going crazy.
Oh, but
That's
what
crazy.
about? Man, there's so the West is
The West is
loaded.
stacked.
So stacked, dude. Like you're gonna have a guy like Kawhi or Paul George miss out on an All-Star, or dude. I think Sabonis might get snubbed, but he shouldn't. Like he's easily an All-Star in my opinion.
I think you gotta put a Clippers player in there. They've been way too good this season not to have. And I think
Yeah.
Don't they? They have a starter though, right? Like Kawhi's a starter.
No.
no, he was
Oh,
not a
he's
starter.
not.
Mm-mm.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, I'll definitely throw Kawhi or Harden in there then for sure. They get 2 at least. One of 2 of either Kawhi and Harden or Kawhi and
Paul
PG.
George, yeah.
Yeah.
Carl Anthony Towns is not a starter. You could argue that, but maybe I think that's kind of iffy.
Yeah, he Wolves need at least 2 All-Stars. I think Gobert might get snubbed too, but Gobert definitely deserves an All-Star bid this year. Dude
Yeah.
is a stud defensively.
Seriously.
Anthony Edwards is obviously going to get an All-Star bid, but they might
should.
even snub Cat. If they give the T-Wolves only 1,
Either-
that would be crazy. What do you guys think? Do you have any guys that you think should be all-star lock-ins or guys you think are going to be snubs? Any sleeper picks?
I think for the East, Paolo.
Oh, true. I forgot about Paolo. Yeah, you should be an all-star.
Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey's been balling. Scotty Barnes, he needs to be talked about some more. Scotty Barnes has been kind of balling.
He's
maybe
all right.
maybe Porzingis. But that's only that's who I'll say for like the East. For the West, I'm obviously saying AD, Paul George, Anthony Edwards. I don't even know who else. Kyrie possibly. Let me think who else. Maybe Chet.
I'll throw Şengün in there. Actually, I don't think he's gonna make it, but I think he deserves some recognition. Rockets have been not bad this season with Ime Udoka, and their defense has been elite. And Şengün is just like he's a very fun player to watch in the post.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's going to get the recognition as an all-star reserve, but I think he should definitely be in the conversation. If he was in the East, he'd be an easy all-star reserve for sure.
Oh yeah.
What do you think, Niall? You have any sleeper picks?
Not a sleeper pick, but I do want to shout out Jalen Williams. I think we were expecting with like the OKC Thunder. Like I was expecting like Josh Giddey to perform and be kind of like the glue guy offensively, but Jalen Williams has been awesome as far as like providing like that second punch offensively because like just Shea's been incredible, but just like the efficient scoring that Williams provides is like really helpful to the Thunder team. So I just want to shout him out.
For sure. One guy I forgot about that should definitely be an all-star is Lauri Markkanen. Dude's having a crazy year and has basically been carrying the Jazz. Like that Jazz team sucks. And they're in like play-in contention right now because of Markkanen. Dude, like he might get snubbed, but like he really deserves it.
Sure.
All right, sweet. Well, I think we're gonna end it here. We all got to go watch the Chiefs-Ravens game. Hopefully see the Ravens win, but it looks like the Chiefs are up right now, so hopefully that changes. We're all rooting for the Lions. Rooting for the Lions later, right?
Yeah.
I can't.
Except for
I can't say that. Yeah, well, I can't say that either. My room will cry forever. So I have to root for the Lions, but I'm sorry for the Niners. But yeah, I checked myself.
All right. Anyways, thanks for coming on, guys. This was fun. Definitely got to do this again. And go Bucks. Bucks winning the title. Sorry, Niall.
Go Knicks.
Not the Knicks.
It's fine. Orange and blue
I don't know
skies.
about
Orange and
that.
blue skies, baby. In my lifetime.
Go Lakers.